Hey guys, welcome back to Plan a Little Farm Life. My name is Tina, and today I thought I'd do something a little different. We're going to take a walk through the past 10 years of planners and show you how I started planning. And you'll excuse my nails, I've been in the garden and in the barn. They won't come clean. But I wanted to show you the journey and show you different ways of planning and record keeping and scheduling and just different ways and what the growth that I've gone through the years and the different phases of life, because that's important, is what phase of life you're in, how much energy and time you have to dedicate to any one planning system. So before we begin, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Woohoo! I hit 200. I didn't think that I would, especially this soon, but I appreciate every one of you. I want to. Okay. So this is a 2014 for me. And this was a Barnes and Noble's journal, just a basic journal. I think it cost me like $7 or something at the time. I love butterflies. I love nature. So I just really was drawn to it. And at the time, I, of course, could not afford a whole lot. So I went with what I could. At the time, I don't think it was until about 2018, 2019-ish that I found out about like Happy Planner and stuff, which absolutely love the versatility. So I'm going to walk you through this. My kids at the time were at the end of the year, because they obviously all had birthdays. They were 12, 8, and 6. And so between dance, soccer, karate, like all the stuff, okay, homeschooling and everything, I needed a better way than the calendar on the wall to keep track of what was going on, where we needed to be. I will tell you, every single bullet journal style book that I have has this back pocket. I absolutely love this. I think that is a wonderful thing. I carried so many things, references like business cards, doctor's reminders, prescriptions, everything in there. So it fit really nicely. So that's a feature that you might look for in a journal or a notebook. So the one thing that I did not love about this was that I felt like there was a whole lot of leftover unused pages by the time I was done. I also had to, I had to number these all myself. So I'm going to flip through a little bit, and I'm going to show you, just I tried my own index. I obviously did not keep up. I did somewhat. So you can see I did the months and the page ranges, but there really wasn't a whole lot of organization, and this was the most basic. So I would just number it down, how many days were in the month, and then put the day next to it and put what was going on. Obviously, you can see sometimes there just wasn't enough room. And then I would put like a little task list over here. I tried keeping track of, did I pay that bill that month? And then in the weeks, I just started like if I needed something that day. This is what's good about this. If you just need it this day, you could do it, label it the day, and then put your tasks or what you want to write down journal-wise or whatever. So I don't want to go through every single page because that's going to be crazy. You also can see August, I tried doing the layout and getting it all set up so I didn't have to worry about it every day. But as you can see, I didn't touch it this week. Having a planner that you don't touch for a week or so, or even like a month, that's perfectly fine. The planner is supposed to work for you. Just remember that. And then let's see. So sometimes I would do the date and then I journaled. about what I did just so I had a reference. That's what this is good for. It also has, obviously I just threw down some notes here and did that. I did add looking forward to the following year, but because it was so hard to remember or find in the back, I just never kept up with it. I did bring in, okay, so I was bringing in, and this is our old house. So I was trying to get an idea and get a handle on like our projects and things we wanted to do. So you'll see the room dimensions are over here. I didn't finish it. These are things that we needed to get done. And then these are rooms and things that needed to be painted. And obviously, I mean, I eventually got that done, but I don't think I know, in fact, I did not get it all done this year. So as you can see, there's, garden notes and stuff. And then you can see I kind of just threw in some random notes because I wanted to leave space for other things, but I didn't get very far. And you can see there's a lot of pages here that just didn't get used. And I had trouble referencing things in there. So in 2015, this is a Moleskine. And these get worn out over the years, by the way. You can tell I tried to do tabs. I used what I had. And let me see. Made it easier to flip. And I took more time with my layout. So I put a year at a glance calendar here. And then I tried to keep up with the index. Obviously did not. I did use the planning ahead more, I think because it was in the front and not the back. That helped a lot. And then I laid out our homeschool plans, and I was, these are new prices, obviously, and I can tell you we didn't pay that for the most part. I took more time and laid out my monthly calendar, and then I would pre-do what I could. This is a food tracking that I did at the time. So this is part of a quilt. Excuse me. I was trying to figure out dimensions, and I had to write things down. So this is what this is also good for, is you can just throw in some notes wherever it fits and wherever you need. Let's see, March is a little bit more decorative. I added a few stickers and did a little stenciling color and things like that. But I think in April, I just kind of didn't do a whole lot. In May, I just did colors with my pens. This is, I decided to write down instead of just using all of Goodreads at the time. So these are books read. I didn't do any fancy like little bookshelf thing, all the cute things. I read too much. I read too much to do those little cutesy little book trackers because I would need a lot of those, and there's not enough room in those to write down all the books and the names and stuff. So I did want to point out, I think this one doesn't have it. So I did this one, I did all of it together. And I don't remember, but on average, if you're interested, I read between 150 to 300-ish books a year. It really depends on what's going on, what I'm doing. When you are a mom that is sitting and waiting for children to come out of practices or whatever, you find time to read, trust me, in little pockets of time. So turn that off. I think it was July. I started doing a checklist here for getting the bills paid. So you can see how it just varies from year to year. But again, This is December. And this is the very end of it. But there's a lot of pages. Now, you can doodle, you can write notes. I started to write down ideas on what I wanted in the next year's planner so that I could be better prepared. And keep in mind, I was doing this with small, preteen children. So it does take time, and I tried not to take too much time. So for the next one in 2016, again, this is a Moleskine. I was learning more and more. You can see this is like super stretched out. And I tried new tabs, and I bought these off of Amazon. I remember this. I bought them off of Amazon, I think. If not, I got them from Target, I think. But they don't have the months on them anymore. And by the end of the year, most of them were worn off, and I was using a permanent pen. So I honestly have no idea. I was using Sharpie pens, and you'll see Sharpie markers. So I honestly have no idea what would make the pen stay. So you can see the index, I threw that out the window. Threw it out the window. It just wasn't there that year. I used this for appointments and planning ahead for things. Our 4-H notes, because with 3 kids it got crazy, and I went simple. So I printed out the months and just literally taped them into my planner because that was all the energy and time I had. So I did try to do a task. I was going to do a books read for the month, but obviously that did not happen, obviously. And I did a flip out of bills and then the budget. So I started to get a little bit more, advanced there. But I started changing up the weeks to see what might work for me. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Other times I just didn't get there. I just didn't have the time. And I don't remember what pen this was, or if this is a pen. I'm not sure. I don't remember what pens I used in here, but you can see over time with, I don't know, heat or something, that it just starts to blur. It starts to, it's almost like it got wet, but I have no idea. So you can see throughout, I just kind of winged it, so to speak. And there were plenty of times that I did not get a whole lot written down, just because I didn't have the time. So when you are doing a calendar or anything like that, or a planner, you just have to find what works for you. I will show you, where is it? So this is December. You can see we were on the budget plan, so I kind of wanted to have an idea in reference to that. So I was, the 12 days of fitness, I was doing a fitness program at that point. I got a little fancy. I brought in some washi. I did some lights. I thought it was fun. And then did I know this was going to happen? No, this washi wants to stick to itself. But I just did some fun little doodles just to kind of bring in some different things. I think at this point you can see me planning and trying different things out. I think at this point I found Life by Whitney and, who is it? I cannot remember. When I would have to find it. I might think of it later. But they were big. I don't know if they still are because I'm not in the bullet journal world anymore. But so you can see I wrote down TV series and shows and things we were watching at the time, and tried to track them and make sure that I was like, keeping up with what I wanted to watch and that. But again, here we are at the end of the year, and there's a lot of blank pages, and this time I'm getting more detailed in specific in what I wanted to have in my next year. For 2017, I went with a Leuchtturm. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one I decorated with stickers, and I'm not sure. I think I got those like at Walmart or something. I honestly don't remember. So I ditched the tabs because obviously that was not working for me. And this year I put in, I don't know where I found these. These were individual stickers. So I did lay them out as a year at a glance. And I forget what this is. I don't know if it was something to do 365. I should have labeled it, but I don't know what I was tracking. I honestly don't. I got better at logging down a table of contents index. So like you could see January, I put gift ideas in there, and then the planning, and my son was a swimmer. He's was a huge swimmer. So I got really detailed, and even in the month I did, page 186, we had some times for his swim, and then we had Christmas. I did a word of the year, and that really helped me out throughout the year. And again, this is sticking. I did a save the date, and I did a birthday tracker, and then voila, my TV series tracker, because we were watching streaming to keep track. And these are all doctor's appointments, and I did movies. And then this is my bill tracker. I did each individual one, and so for each month paid, and then I did the amount, and then I tracked our income. So these are our 4-H projects, the meetings we went to. Obviously, the master meals list never really got used. I was trying at that time to kind of make it easier to plan meals, to like think of things, because brain fatigue or decision fatigue is a real thing. And a lot of people don't realize it or don't acknowledge that it's a real thing when you are at the end of your day, especially with little kids or a busy day, and you're like, what do we eat? What do we have? I don't know. My brain can't function that far. I can't think of what we have. I know we have all this food. How do I put it together? Your brain is just not, like, it's just done for the day. So that, I don't know if you've seen my meal planning, but that is how I meal plan, because I sat down year after year and I wrote down what we eat all the time and what my family likes, and I just picked from that list. So plan with me challenge. I'm not sure how well I did this, but I did do different layouts. I was playing around with different things, so I put just the important things here. I did some notes, things that I need to take care of throughout the month. I did a spending log, so I keep track of every month how much I spent, and then I guess a gratitude log that I just probably took to another book. And again, a different layout, and I was tracking things, so I was drawing my trackers. So you can see my exercise trackers and a different layout. I was tracking my water, things like that. So you can see that it changed from week to week, and I'm getting more into making sure that I am more on top of things, and I knew I need to write it down. Obviously, this was not a page that was a priority that year. It was more of when people would mention things that I would write it down, because I didn't want to forget. what to, ideas. But I get to that time in the year and then, gift giving, and I would completely forget. Completely. So this was tracking our school year and who was doing what. So you can see the different grades, 4th grade, 6th grade, and 9th grade. My son's swim times, because he was a huge swimmer in our area, and by his senior year, he was just like a literal 10th of a second off from going to state, unfortunately. But he went to swim divisionals all the time and did that, so needed to get through that. Let me see. So page 61. Here we go. This is the tracker. See, I tried, and I just decided I was going to color them in, and then I was writing them down. So you can see how well this did not work. I think it's adorable. I love the idea, but the practicality of writing the titles in and then coloring it or whatever just was not something that worked for me. You will see in like bullet journals, if you put like a dot and then the page. So this is page 59, and if you go to page 162, you'll see where it picks back up. So that's like one of the good things about bullet journaling is you can just mark it and make a notation, and then you can go to immediately flip to the next page that continues on with this content. I also threw in there's my TV series. You see how well that worked. So there's some to-dos. I guess I wasn't watching TV as much. I don't know. But this was an idea. And all the stuff that I needed to keep track of, and I would try to put the date. It worked for a little bit, and then I forgot about it, didn't have time, whatever. It wasn't something that actually worked out. On this one, on May, I decided to do the trackers for things this way. So I have water, exercise, pay bills, eat out, recycle, take the recycling in, change the kitty litter, trash, clean the toilets, because that was a huge thing. You have boys in your house, let me just say, you got to clean it a lot more often than this. Vacuuming, mopping, and then tree. I'm not exactly sure what I meant by that, but obviously it's the old house, so we don't have to worry about it. On page 124. Okay, so this month I really didn't have a whole lot of time to set up, obviously, so I just threw down a sticker and did the months, and this worked out. Okay, so it just was easy, and I have doodles. I think I got a spirograph that year, and I was trying it out. But you see the year, I did the days with the important things, and then I would try to keep a running task list that needed to be done that time. And then, so I showed you page 162, and then 169. Let's see. Okay. I tried the hourly, and yeah, you can see that did not work out very well. I was trying to do the week over here, and then all my just scribble notes everywhere. This was obviously in the car. My son was taking notes for me while I was headed to the grocery store. So you can see I tried it on a larger scale, and I just didn't love it. I don't know if I just didn't love setting it up, or if it just didn't flat out work, because I think I went back to it the next week, just a normal, easy layout. And you can see a lot of pages left over. So that's one of the downfalls to having a pre-bound book like this, is that whatever pages are in there are in there. So for 2018, I moved to a Scribbles That Matter book. I love these because they already had the pen loop. I never had to worry about where a pen was. And it came with a index, and I kept a good running track on it. I think it was, here we go, Page Flutter. So it was Page Flutter and Life by Whitney were the two big ones that I was watching and finding layouts and things like that. So I actually traced this with the old carbon paper, if you've ever did that when you were in school. So I loved how this turned out. It was super simple, and it took a little bit of time, but it was more meditative and more just bringing my brain down to the basics of like, hey, just slow down. So I wrote in my yearly tracker, and that's our birthday and anniversary. And then I did a future log this way, which I really like and I kind of miss. So we'll see how that goes over. This is the overflow for the next year. This was meant to be things to put and transfer into the next year's calendar. This was our festivals and events that I was trying to keep up with. And then we had swimming schedule, basketball, middle school swim, things like that. Those were my son's times at the specific meets for me to keep up with. I would bring this literally everywhere, you guys. This thing would go everywhere. Went to a swim meet, I would write the time down. It went to basketball, I wrote notes. This, like, my calendars went everywhere. So I was trying to do a tracker, and obviously the side kind of fell off to the wayside as far as weekly. And I just wanted something that I could reference and go, okay, I don't remember if I did that this week. So, and then this seemed to work out better for like when did I last, or like checking off recurring things, because I would look at it each month and go, did I do this? Did I do this? If I had a span of cleaning time, I would go turn to this page and go, okay, what needs to be done that I have not done? So that was really helpful. This was from, who did I say? Page Flutter. Thank you. I'll get there. I'm going to try not to take too much more time with the rest of these because I have my happy planners to get into. So this was to help set up each month, and I really like this idea, and I absolutely love that it helped me keep things in check. So every month, at the end of the month, I would set up the next month's planner, and I would go down this list, and then I would check these off as I did them for that month, to add in and make sure that things didn't get missed. And that really helped because that's the way my brain works. This is an old bills tracker. This layout is from Life by Whitney. I'm not sure if she's still active, but I'm pretty sure you can find something along those lines out there. And then I just did a little happy little dots page. And being the book person that I am, I started out with my books this year. But when I do my books, I write the title of the book and then the author. Now you'll see, if you see my book tracker, you'll see when I started, finished, and my page count. So you can see this year was a big book year. So 219 books. And then these are the movies that I watched, my TV series. So I was still trying to keep track, and I just kind of, 234, because my books continued. So you can see I read a lot. So you'll see these are the front pages, as what I would call them. My planning pages and my big ones. I had a blank page here, so I just did a quote and some coloring. So you'll see that there's a little bit more advancement and enlarging of the monthlies, and my lettering, when I take time, I can get it pretty well. And I started kind of like, I just did it day by day. And I kept a monthly to do, and obviously I was tracking my steps and some of my exercises. But you'll see, maybe, fitness challenges. Obviously, I didn't keep up with that later. We went through a Marvel marathon one summer. This was in the summer that we did this. I listed them all in chronological order, and we watched them in that order. And we all had fun. So you'll see sometimes I was just being goofy. Let me see. Page. So you'll see sometimes I got more written in than other times. And that's why I like the day-to-day in this manner, because I was able to just put in and take as much space as I wanted. I never worried about running out of space. And I sometimes would just throw in, this is something I printed out. I put the dates and where we were, and I was keeping track of my middle child's times as best I could in the places that he took, because he is a big runner. So we have a runner and a swimmer. The runner likes to play basketball, but he's going to the doctor's soon. This is, obviously, I don't know if I was just, I noticed it when I was looking through. I don't know if I was just overwhelmed or just by this point in the year, because this is October. I kind of did that line neatly, but then I just kind of, you can see I was just busy and just didn't care about completing the line. That drives me nuts now, but, you know, the kids were 10, 12, and 16, and so it was obviously a busy time. I was probably overwhelmed and that, but it's okay because it worked. It did what I needed it to. So I decided in 2018 I was going to do a year in review. I was going to go back and do, you know, little notes and little doodles of things that happened throughout the year. Obviously, it's in pencil. I didn't get that far. So, you know, I like this. The pages are numbered, and they're obviously really good quality paper, because you can see, I mean, it's not the best. Like, I was testing out here in the back, different things. So you can see just the general pen, but you can see the colors from the page next to it. So, that is that one. So for 2019, I did another Scribbles That Matter. And it was just, I can tell you, it was just super busy. You can see I have all of my I'm gonna call them pre-pages. My reference pages are all up front, and I stopped keeping track of my index pages. It just wasn't important enough, I guess. And so I did my year at a glance, my birthdays, my future log, and then the overflow I didn't use. I didn't use it again. I put the schedules you can see up front. It just was so much easier to keep that up front for reference. Let me see, 28. Okay, so I started writing movies down, and I think this is when I just stopped watching a whole lot of TV because I just didn't have the time. and I started reading more books again. On the back side, you'll see the bills. But you can see I left pages for it, and it's empty. My 4-H meetings and projects, I wrote the meetings. I didn't check them all off. I didn't write the projects down. But I did plan our homeschool. That's the important thing. So, and I even got creative. This was our septic. We were having trouble with it that year. And if you know this reference, give me a thumbs up. I love that movie. It's hilarious. Excuse me. So I was trying to figure out, like, the treatment, if we had it pumped or whatever. I was trying to keep track, and then we found out that it needed a big drain and a replacement, I think, this year. So I stopped keeping track because we were putting a new one in. Let me tell you, that is a huge ordeal, putting a whole new septic and leach bed in. It's expensive, and it's a lot. So I was keeping track of our trash and recycling because I was bringing it to the transfer station. It's a whole lot cheaper than having trash pickup. We have not had trash pickup in almost, I want to say 15 years, something like that. It's crazy. It's just easier and cheaper to take it into the transfer station. If you know where your transfer station is, even with the price increase over the last couple of years, it has been still by far cheaper. So these are wish lists. I started doing wish lists and I would throw, everybody's stuff. And I figured this was like maybe a better way to do it, but, not necessarily, because I kind of used it, but I didn't really use it all. This was project planning. I was planning on doing, I thought, I got my act together. The kids are getting older. I'm going to do a project a month. Nope. Didn't happen. So, it is what it is. Life happens, and sometimes you just don't get there. So, and I even took the budget out because I just wasn't using it in here. I think this was the year that I started using the Budget Mom trackers and things. And this one, I forget who they are, but if you're interested, let me know. These are printable trackers. I got them off of Etsy at the time and just printed them on sticker paper and cut them out. But they were super helpful. They're just 31 day, and you just write in what you want to track. It was just so much easier to just stick those in, however many I needed, and to not have to worry about writing it all out. So you'll see here, I tried some different layouts. Again, just changing things up, seeing what worked and what didn't, what my mood was at the time. And so I like this one obviously a lot that year. Excuse me. I think I have allergies. I don't know if it's just because we're tucked in for the winter now, and the heater's on, because y'all, we are getting our first freeze warning tonight. It is crazy. I can't believe we are this far in the year already. So obviously I like I'm going to call this like the sticky note kind of a look. But you can see, obviously in this year, I put the week and then the whole week, like week number, and then the whole week. And so like this is 1 through 4. So it's 18, the second part of the week, because you can see the first part of the week was in the end of April. So just ideas. If you are a bullet journaler, if you've ever thought about it, this is, there's so many ways to plan. This is, I did the weekly important things here, and then my to-dos. If I had something that had to be done on a certain day, I would put a box on that day. And like pay bills, obviously you need it here, it happened here. So I'm going to show you here. Obviously the end of the year is a big problem for me. Especially when it comes to like having to do all this and write it out. You can see I did that. I did not do a to-do list. Did the same thing here. Same thing here. I tried to throw in a tracker, and then I just said the heck with it. I gave up. It just didn't happen for the rest of the year. I was like, never mind. So again, there's my 12 days of fitness. It was, and it's something that happens every year. This is me trying out a layout. And again, empty pages. I tried to fill them with doodles or something sometimes and notes, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So here we are at 2020. This one is a Scribbles That Matter, and I really like them. I like the look term. I like the Moleskine is, I want to say a little thinner. The paper's thinner, and that, but I really like the look term and the Scribbles That Matter. I really like the Scribbles That Matter because the page is a vibrant white. It's not like a muted white like I feel the look term has. So I didn't keep up with the table of contents, and I did, obviously I was supposed to put some inspiration there. I had my future log appointments. I even put birthdays and anniversaries here, and holidays, appointments and events. I did not even finish setting this up, you guys. So I put my journal checklist. I decided to forgo the one page, or maybe I put some of that one, and then I took this chart, because I figured that's the important parts that I was using. I did the planning. I did not do the movies or wish list, or anything. I was better at laying out my monthly, I think. I was just tracking my spending, tracking my exercising, my months here, or my weeks throughout my month. Let me see, page 44. So this one, I did just change my months up, and depending on how many weeks I needed, and see, I obviously couldn't count. But yeah, I don't know what that one is. Oh, yeah, I just didn't keep up. And so I think it was April that I ended up moving over to a Happy Planner. So this is my very first Happy Planner. And it only has half the year in it. So I brought and transferred over my future log, okay? And I made a task, recurring task list on just notebook paper. And then I did a reading log to where I could write the date that I finished it, the book title, the author, and the pages in the book. So I don't remember how many are on each page, but I have 6 of those. I have an extra one there. This is after quarantine. Woo! So if you kept planning through quarantine, give me a thumbs up, because that was a little trial. I had when you have a list. Do you have a list like this? After quarantine, this stuff needs to be done. It just was crazy, you guys. To kind of still try to live some life while everyone was on lockdown. You didn't want to completely stop living life. So this is the workout I was doing at the time. And I started in May. Excuse me. I'm going to show you, it's very sparse and unorganized. I think I just tried to separate some things out. I did try some decorating here, things like that. And I got a little bit more, but I think some of it was all the appointment stickers that I needed. Be gentle with yourself. Obviously, I needed some help with that. Was keeping my son's work schedule and that, but it just wasn't very well done. and this is to show it worked, obviously, because I got the things done and I knew what I needed, but it's not always got to be beautiful. Some of these are a little bit better laid out than others. Um, this is June. So starting to get more organized with my tasks and my sticker layout. I'm still sticking to the little prescribed boxes. Mostly I have that one. But you can tell these, in fact, I think this is the book. I think I just picked up another set of these in a sticker book because I really like these, and I'm like so glad that I found them again because I want to try some different things. So you can see a little bit more use, and as I go, I was starting to find my flow in using a happy planner. I had some decorations and was just trying to feel it out. Sometimes it just didn't have a whole lot. This is July, in the middle of summer. Our fair was essentially canceled in that year. So, I was just trying to keep track of any like cross country practice, basketball, my son's work. I color coded with highlighters, you guys. I cannot tell you how underrated highlighters are. But if you can see, I just didn't have it in me to obviously do any decorating some weeks. It was more about living and documenting what was going on than making it pretty. See, some other weeks. There's a lot of weeks in this year that just didn't get done. But you can see I started decorating my monthlies. What is this one? Oh, okay. This is another workout. I decided to start tracking it here. And I was just looking at it so I could refer back when I was doing it. So there's that one. And you can see I'm starting to get more activity going back because we were all tired of being quarantined and told, oh, it's only going to take a couple weeks. But it did not. I did end up putting I wonder if I can take that off. I might be able to transfer that. I'm going to try it. A pen tab on there because I still take my planner a lot of places. So I always need a pen. So in 2020, I had started using the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck. And it worked wonders, you guys. It just kind of really laid everything out in line and things just started falling into place with my brain having it done that way. So I thought, okay, I like her planner. I thought I would try the Live Rich planner by the Budget Mom. It's a good planner. It's just not for me. It was coiled. I didn't like the coils, so I took it out and I punched it. That still didn't work either. So I'll show you some of it. There's the monthly, which, I mean, it works, but I can tell you, it was so much to keep up with. Having to write it down, and uncoiling and not trimming was probably one of my biggest mistakes. I probably should have reinforced the pages and done that, but it just wasn't going to happen. So you have your finance pages here, and then you have your household planners here, or your pages, household pages, and so then you go into your weeklies, which was an hourly. I thought this is going to be perfect because I have, at the time, COVID shut down all of the government offices and things, so we had to wait, I think, eight more months to get my son his driver's license. Let me tell you, I'm like, if anything, I need him to have his driver's license because I needed some help. But excuse me. So I needed an hourly to keep track of everybody's schedule. So you have the budget one once a month. Then you have the weekly household tasks. You've got habit trackers, the meals, the grocery list, housework, things to do, whatever works for you. And I tried doing, you see, I color coded all my things. I did, you know, it was working for a while. And then I think in June or July, because I laid out the months. So I did a little bit in June. And in July I laid out the month, but in July, then I finally broke down and went back to a happy planner. Now, let me just state, the discs that you see may not be the discs that came with the covers. I do not remember, like, I got some from thrift stores. I got some from the store. I don't remember what came with what. So I decided to do an inspirational page here, a future log. Again, I think I just transferred that. And then I went back to my house tasks, my things that needed to be remembered, and obviously I fell off the wagon here. But my reading log, if anything has been consistent throughout the years, is my reading log. So if you're a reader and you keep a reading log or a reading notebook, I even have a separate notebook at one point that I was keeping track of that I could not keep up with because I was putting in a lot of the, I was doing quotes and reviews and like all the things. And I thought, oh, I can, you know, I'll remember these books and and I can reference back and find the quotes that I want. And that was not a good thing because that was just too much for me. So I did, all these are personal notes, and I started in July. I'm going to go ahead and keep going here because I want to get through the rest of it. So this year, there was just, you know, whatever worked. I tried the spending log. I cut it out and put it in. It did not stick. But you can see I started to get creative because I forget this was like, it was I don't know if it was a faith or a self-care because of the reflection. Today was thankful for type of thing. So it's just a matter of keeping up with that. So sorry about that. So as I was saying, I just started to use this more and more, and it was getting more functional. Some weeks I didn't fill out as much as things came along. This is the time where we were moving, and I had 2 houses for a while. I also had, we had a major car accident with our boys, and so that took a lot of time, and luckily they are both perfectly fine. In fact, my younger one just had his own accident, and he's still perfectly fine. So thank God they were protected and spared from any serious long-term issues. But you can see that this one just, it got used a whole lot more. It was more organized. This is some of my Bible reading stuff I just threw back here. And again, I keep these folders in the back so that I have some reference and some notes that stay from year to year. So this is 2022. This one is more organized overall. My daughter picked up on her 4-H projects. My son was in JAG. We had all the things. And that up front here. As you can see, I really haven't used these in the long run. There's not enough room for me to write there. I don't like the layout of that one, or at least the dated ones, I should say. So you can see it's still sporadic. Sometimes I would just tape in, like I had a to-do list, so I grabbed a notepad and just threw it in there. Some of them, a lot of them, I started doing my own stickers for my own purposes. Like I eventually had these printed. Let me see if I can find some. So you can see the practices. I did them specifically for basketball. Hopefully to, some weeks were hard. This was like a lot. This was a trial in life. The first year and a half in this house, it was just a lot. But I had the practices and things, and that, and then, sorry, I keep getting interrupted. So you can see I made schedules because I needed the times written, and I tried to place them in the order, but it didn't always work. So I made my own stickers for that. You can see I was kind of just going through and throwing stickers down, sometimes not so much. Busier weeks than others. And again, just like the notes, it just became very much more functional and laid out. Then I have a year in review in the back of this one that I think I just used because I moved. This week was like a half week, so I moved it into the new planner, and this one I just used up some older stickers and put in memories from that month, top memories, and then for some reason back here is my trackers along with my reading log. And that one I did 145 books and 29,628 pages. So I'm telling you, I was a reader. I am a reader. So you can see each year there's growth, there's change, and so in your planners, keep that in mind when you're comparing yourself. That's the one thing, don't compare yourself, because everybody's planner is going to be different and they're going to work for them. They're either going to be more decorative, more planning, more writing, more simplistic, whatever works for you. So I want to say thank you again to the subscribers, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below, how long have you been with Happy Planner as a planner, and have you ever bullet journaled? And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.